Imagine waking up each day feeling energized, focused, and ready to tackle whatever life throws at you. Picture yourself breaking free from the chains of procrastination, anxiety, and self-doubt, transforming not just your routine, but your entire life in just 1 week. Sounds impossible, right? Well, I once thought so too. Just a few months ago, I was caught in a whirlwind of chaos, struggling to find balance and joy in my everyday life. But everything changed when I discovered 7 simple yet powerful habits that completely transformed my mindset and well-being in just 7 days. Now, before you dismiss this as just another self-help gimmick, let me share something personal. The pain of feeling stuck is something you don't have to endure. I know the frustration of wanting change, but feeling powerless to achieve it. But what if I told you that the key to unlocking a better version of yourself is within your reach? By the end of this video, you will not only understand these habits, but also feel inspired to implement them in your own life. Trust me, these aren't just tips. They are practical steps that can lead to a profound transformation. Stick around, because I'll be sharing my own journey, complete with struggles, breakthroughs, and moments of raw honesty that might just resonate with your own experiences. So, grab a seat and let's embark on this journey together. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Habit 1. Waking up early. The first habit that fundamentally altered the trajectory of my life is waking up early. For years, I struggled with sleep patterns that left me feeling groggy and unproductive. I would hit the snooze button multiple times, dragging myself out of bed just in time to rush through my morning routine. This chaotic start set a negative tone for my entire day, and I often felt like I was playing catch-up from the moment I woke up. However, everything changed when I made the conscious decision to embrace early mornings. The idea of waking up early initially seemed daunting. I was accustomed to late nights and the comfort of my bed, so the thought of rising before the sun was foreign. But I was inspired by the notion that the early bird catches the worm. This saying reflects the idea that those who rise early have a head start on the day, and I wanted to experience that advantage for myself. As Seneca noted, begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. This quote resonated with me as I realized that by waking up early, I was gaining more time in my day, more time to spend on activities that enriched my life rather than simply craving more hours of sleep. I started my journey by setting my alarm just 30 minutes earlier than usual. The first few days were challenging. I felt the pull of my warm blankets and the temptation to stay in bed. However, I reminded myself of my motivation. I wanted to gain a quiet, uninterrupted time to focus on my goals and well-being. Gradually, I adjusted to the new routine, and those early mornings began to transform into a cherished ritual. One of the first things I implemented was a morning routine that included activities I enjoyed and found meaningful. I began by incorporating a short meditation session into my mornings. This practice allowed me to clear my mind and set a positive intention for the day ahead. As Marcus Aurelius stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This realization underscored the importance of starting my day with a clear and focused mind. After meditation, I dedicated time to physical exercise. Engaging in morning workouts not only energized me, but also boosted my mood. I found that starting my day with movement set a positive tone for my productivity. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, "It is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." By choosing to react positively to the challenge of waking up early, I was empowering myself to take control of my day. As I continued this habit, I began to appreciate the quiet solitude of the early mornings. With fewer distractions, I could concentrate on my goals and aspirations. I used this time to journal, reflecting on my thoughts and setting intentions for the day. This practice allowed me to articulate my priorities and clarify what truly mattered to me. In the words of Seneca, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. By waking up early and preparing myself mentally and physically, I was setting the stage for good fortune throughout the day. One particularly memorable morning was when I spent time outdoors, watching the sunrise. There was something profoundly peaceful about witnessing the world awaken. It served as a reminder of the beauty of life and the opportunities each new day brings. Habit 2. Daily exercise. The second habit that transformed my life is daily exercise, and it's one that I can't emphasize enough. For many years, I was stuck in a cycle of inactivity, often finding excuses to skip workouts. "I don't have time," "I'm too tired," or "I'll start next week" became my go-to phrases. However, everything changed when I decided to make exercise a non-negotiable part of my daily routine. Initially, I was overwhelmed by the idea of committing to daily exercise. I envisioned long, grueling workouts that would take a significant chunk of my day. But I quickly learned that exercise doesn't have to be a monumental task. I started small, setting a goal to move my body for just 20 minutes each day. This could be anything from a brisk walk to a short yoga session or even a quick home workout. The key was to find activities that I enjoyed, making it easier to stick with them. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This quote resonated with me as I realized that I didn't need to perform exhaustive workouts. I simply needed to appreciate the movement I could create each day. In the first week, I experienced a mix of excitement and discomfort. My body was not used to regular movement, and I felt sore at times. Yet, I pushed through that initial discomfort, reminding myself of my motivation. I wanted to feel healthier, more energetic, and more confident. By the end of that first week, I noticed a significant difference in my mood. Exercise released endorphins, which are natural mood lifters, and I found myself feeling happier and more positive about my day. One of the biggest revelations was how daily exercise affected my mental clarity. On days when I worked out in the morning, I noticed that I was more focused and productive throughout the day. It became a powerful way to begin my mornings, setting a positive tone for everything that followed. As Marcus Aurelius stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This mindset helped me to focus on the positive effects of exercise rather than any discomfort I felt. As I continued my journey, I began to explore different forms of exercise. I joined a local gym and tried group classes, which introduced me to activities like Zumba, spinning, and strength training. The camaraderie in these classes was uplifting, and I found myself motivated by the energy of others. I also started hiking on weekends, discovering beautiful trails in my area that allowed me to connect with nature while getting a workout. One particularly memorable experience was when I signed up for a charity run. Initially, I was intimidated by the idea of running a 5K, but I trained for it over the course of several weeks. Each run was a challenge, but I steadily improved my endurance and speed. Crossing that finish line was one of the most exhilarating moments of my life. It wasn't just about the race, it symbolized my commitment to my health and well-being. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This race was a testament to my ability to rise above my fears and insecurities. I also began to notice the physical changes that came with regular exercise. My body became stronger, my posture improved, and I had more energy throughout the day. I felt empowered to take on challenges, both in the gym and in other areas of my life. It was as if I was shedding not only physical weight, but also emotional burdens. Another essential aspect of this habit was learning to listen to my body. There were days when I felt fatigued or needed rest, and I learned the importance of modifying my workouts or taking a day off. This awareness helped prevent burnout and injuries, allowing me to maintain a sustainable routine. On days when I needed something lighter, I incorporated gentle yoga or stretching, which still provided the movement my body craved without overexertion. Moreover, the habit of daily exercise fostered a sense of discipline and commitment in my life. It became a time for self-reflection, where I could detach from daily stresses and focus solely on my well-being. I began to cherish this time as my me time, a moment to recharge and reconnect with myself amid the chaos of life. Incorporating daily exercise into my routine was one of the best decisions I ever made. It taught me that taking care of my body directly impacts my mental health and overall happiness. As Seneca remarked, "A good character, when established, does not need the approval of the crowd." This journey became about my personal growth rather than seeking validation from others. If you're feeling stuck or unmotivated, I encourage you to give daily exercise a try. Start with just 10 to 15 minutes a day. Find activities that excite you and gradually build from there. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By committing to exercise, you're investing in a higher quality of life. So, are you ready to embrace the power of daily exercise and unlock a healthier, more vibrant version of yourself? The journey awaits. Habit 3. Journaling. The third habit that has played a pivotal role in my personal growth is journaling. For a long time, I struggled with my thoughts and emotions, often feeling overwhelmed by the chaos of daily life. I would go through each day on autopilot, reacting to situations without taking the time to reflect on my feelings or experiences. It wasn't until I began journaling that I discovered the power of self-reflection and the clarity it could bring. Initially, I was skeptical about journaling. I wondered how writing down my thoughts could possibly make a difference in my life. However, I was inspired by the Stoic philosopher Seneca, who said, "If you wish to be rich, do not add to your money, but subtract from your desire." This quote encouraged me to explore how journaling could help me focus not on external circumstances, but on my internal landscape. I started small, committing to write for just 5 minutes each day. I kept my journal by my bedside, making it easy to jot down my thoughts in the morning or before bed. The first entries were simple observations about my day, my feelings, and any challenges I faced. I discovered that putting pen to paper allowed me to process events more deeply and provided a sense of relief. As I continued this practice, I began to incorporate prompts that encouraged deeper introspection. One prompt that resonated with me was, "What am I grateful for today?" Practicing gratitude has been a key component of my journaling journey. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." This reminder emphasizes the importance of maintaining a positive mindset despite external challenges. By reflecting on what I was grateful for, I was able to cultivate a sense of appreciation even in the face of adversity. Another powerful aspect of journaling is the ability to track my progress and growth over time. I would often revisit earlier entries to see how my thoughts and feelings had evolved. This practice reinforced the Stoic idea expressed by Epictetus. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By reflecting on my journey, I could clearly see how my desires and priorities had shifted. leading to a more fulfilling life. Journaling also served as a space for me to confront my fears and insecurities. I often wrote about situations that made me anxious or uncertain, allowing me to process those emotions in a safe environment. Through this practice, I remembered the words of Marcus Aurelius: "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This perspective shifted my mindset, encouraging me to view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. Over time, I began to experiment with different journaling techniques. I tried free writing, where I would let my thoughts flow without any structure, and I found it liberating. There were no rules, no expectations, just pure expression. This method reminded me of Seneca's wisdom: "A good character, when established, does not need the approval of the crowd." My journaling became a space where I could be honest with myself without fear of judgment. Eventually, I added a section to my journal dedicated to setting daily intentions. Each morning, I would write down one intention for the day, something I wanted to focus on or improve. This practice helped me align my actions with my values and reinforced the Stoic belief that the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By setting intentions rooted in integrity and self-improvement, I was taking proactive steps toward becoming the person I aspired to be. As I embraced journaling, I found it to be a powerful tool for self-discovery and mental clarity. It provided me with the opportunity to reflect, process, and grow in ways I never imagined. I encourage anyone seeking to enhance their lives to give journaling a try. Start with just a few minutes each day and allow yourself the space to explore your thoughts, feelings, and aspirations. So, are you ready to unlock the transformative power of journaling? Embrace this habit, and you may find that it leads you to a deeper understanding of yourself and a more purposeful life. Habit 4. Practicing mindfulness. The fourth habit that has profoundly impacted my life is practicing mindfulness. In a world filled with distractions and constant demands on our attention, I found myself often overwhelmed and stressed, unable to fully engage in the present moment. I realized that I needed a way to cultivate awareness and appreciation for the here and now, and that's when I discovered mindfulness. Initially, the concept of mindfulness seemed abstract and complicated. I associated it with meditation and thought it required extensive training or special techniques. However, I was inspired by the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, who said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote encouraged me to explore mindfulness as a means to gain control over my thoughts and reactions. I began my mindfulness journey by incorporating short moments of awareness into my daily routine. One of the simplest practices I adopted was mindful breathing. I would take a few minutes each day to focus solely on my breath, allowing myself to feel each inhale and exhale. This practice of being present helped me ground myself in the moment and clear away the mental clutter. As Epictetus wisely stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This reminded me that while I couldn't control external circumstances, I could control my response through mindfulness. As I became more comfortable with mindful breathing, I expanded my practice to include mindful observation. During walks or even while sitting at my desk, I would take a moment to observe my surroundings, the colors of the leaves, the sounds of nature, or the sensation of the breeze on my skin. This practice of engaging my senses helped me cultivate a deeper appreciation for the world around me. Marcus Aurelius noted, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." By shifting my focus to the present moment, I was able to embrace the beauty of change and impermanence, Mindfulness also became a valuable tool for managing stress and anxiety. I learned to recognize when my thoughts began to spiral or when I felt overwhelmed by the demands of daily life. In those moments, I would pause, take a deep breath, and remind myself of the Stoic principle that the greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. By consciously choosing to focus on the present moment rather than worrying about the future or dwelling on the past, I found a sense of calm and clarity. Incorporating mindfulness into my daily routine also improved my relationships. By practicing active listening and being fully present during conversations, I could engage more authentically with others. I remembered the words of Seneca, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This insight reminded me to stay present in conversations rather than getting lost in my worries or assumptions about what others might think. To deepen my mindfulness practice, I began to explore guided meditations and mindfulness apps. These resources provided structured approaches to mindfulness, helping me develop a consistent routine. I discovered that setting aside dedicated time for mindfulness each day was essential for reaping its benefits. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. By dedicating time to mindfulness, I was actively choosing the colors of my thoughts and emotions. Another meaningful aspect of my mindfulness journey was incorporating gratitude into the practice. At the end of each day, I would reflect on 3 things I was grateful for, no matter how small. This practice encouraged me to focus on the positive aspects of my life and reinforced the Stoic belief that gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. By cultivating an attitude of gratitude, I found it easier to remain present and appreciative of life's simple joys. As I continued to embrace mindfulness, I noticed a profound shift in my overall well-being. I felt more grounded, less reactive, and better equipped to handle life's challenges. Mindfulness became a source of strength, allowing me to navigate difficulties with greater resilience. I encourage anyone seeking to enhance their life to give mindfulness a try. Start with just a few moments each day and allow yourself to fully engage in the present. So, are you ready to embrace the transformative power of mindfulness? By incorporating this habit into your life, you may find a deeper sense of peace, awareness, and fulfillment in every moment. Habit 5. Embracing lifelong learning. The 5th habit that has significantly enriched my life is embracing lifelong learning. In an ever-evolving world, the pursuit of knowledge has become essential not only for personal growth, but also for adaptability and resilience. For a long time, I viewed education as something that ended with formal schooling. However, I soon realized that the journey of learning is a lifelong endeavor that can bring fulfillment and purpose to my life. The shift in my mindset began when I encountered a quote from Seneca, "While we wait for life, life passes." This resonated deeply with me and made me recognize the importance of seizing opportunities to learn and grow rather than waiting for the right moment. I understood that every day presents a chance to expand my horizons, whether through reading, engaging in new experiences, or seeking knowledge from others. I started this journey by dedicating time each day to reading. I explored a wide range of topics, from philosophy and psychology to history and science. I found that immersing myself in different subjects not only broadened my understanding, but also sparked my curiosity. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting." This reminded me that challenges and obstacles could serve as powerful catalysts for learning and growth. In addition to reading, I sought out opportunities for self-directed learning. I enrolled in online courses, attended workshops, and participated in community events. Each experience introduced me to new ideas and perspectives, reinforcing the Stoic belief that knowledge is the food of the soul. By actively engaging in learning, I was nurturing my intellectual growth and expanding my capacity for empathy and understanding. Another valuable aspect of embracing lifelong learning was learning from my failures and mistakes. Instead of viewing setbacks as negative experiences, I began to see them as essential lessons on my journey. Epictetus once said, "We are not given a good or an evil thing, but the use we make of it." This principle helped me cultivate resilience. I recognized that every challenge I faced could offer insight and wisdom if I approached it with an open mind. I also embraced the idea of learning from others. I sought mentors and engaged in meaningful conversations with people from diverse backgrounds and experiences. Listening to their stories and insights enriched my understanding of the world and offered valuable lessons. As Seneca remarked, "The best way to keep your friends is not to let them see your faults." This encouraged me to create a supportive network of individuals who inspired me to grow and learn. To further enhance my learning journey, I began to reflect regularly on what I had learned. I incorporated a section in my journal dedicated to summarizing key takeaways from books, courses, or conversations. This practice solidified my understanding and allowed me to revisit important concepts later. Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind." By reflecting on my learning, I was actively shaping my thoughts and fostering a growth-oriented mindset. As I immersed myself in lifelong learning, I experienced a renewed sense of purpose and fulfillment. I discovered that the pursuit of knowledge is not just about acquiring information, but about cultivating a deeper understanding of myself and the world around me. I was reminded of the Stoic principle that a wise man will be in harmony with himself. This harmony emerged as I embraced the journey of learning and growth. Incorporating lifelong learning into my daily routine was transformative. It empowered me to be curious, adaptable, and open-minded. I encourage anyone seeking to enrich their life to embrace this habit. Start by dedicating time each day to explore new topics, engage in conversations, and seek out experiences that challenge your thinking. So, are you ready to embark on the journey of lifelong learning? Embrace this habit, and you may find that it leads to a deeper understanding of yourself and the world, opening doors to endless possibilities for growth and fulfillment. As we wrap up our exploration of these transformative habits, I hope you feel inspired to take action and make meaningful changes in your life. Each of these habits, waking up early, engaging in daily exercise, journaling, practicing mindful eating, and limiting screen time, offers a unique opportunity to enhance your well-being and foster a deeper connection with yourself. Remember, the journey to self-improvement doesn't happen overnight. It's about taking small, consistent steps and embracing the process. Don't feel pressured to implement all these habits at once. Instead, choose one that resonates with you and commit to it for a week. You might be surprised by the positive impact it can have on your life. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences with these habits, so feel free to share in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more insights and tips on living a fulfilling life. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and remember to check out more content on Sana Stoic. Together, let's cultivate a life filled with intention, balance, and growth.